Hello there everybody, and a warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I hope you're all doing fine, even if we're living quite troubling and disturbing times at the moment. Today's video will be about the riots in France. As many of you have noticed, there have lately begun some big riots in France. In almost every major city there are cars burning, protesters on the street, looting and big disturbance. And I'm going to look into that situation with my crystal ball, my tarot cards, oracle cards, gypsy cards and some dice. And before we begin, I just want to thank you all, wonderful viewers, for all of your support, for your lovely mails, for your comments, and just for being you. Without you, there would not be any channel. I'm very grateful to all of you. And I'm sorry if I don't respond to all of the mails or comments, but I read them, and if I get opportunity and time, I will try to give a response. Well, today's video, I'm going to start to look into France, what is going on, and I'm going to use my crystal ball and just look for a few moments in the crystal ball, and after that we put some cards on the situation in France. Before we begin that too, I need to concentrate a little bit on my crystal ball and ask the forces, the powers, to be with us so we can get as good as accurate answers as possible. So just give me a few moments and soon we will begin. So, France. Okay, let's put on some glasses to see a little bit better. And let's see if we can find something here in my crystal ball of France. Yeah, the tension in France have been building up for some time now. Many of those protesters at the moment, because this what is going on is not normal, like manifestations, people upset of something, speaking their mind. This is something else. I see like very disturbing faces, screaming, and this is not like nice people. It's strange people. Symbolically, I see like an on-off button on those people that are doing damage in France at the moment. And the person, or the being, I would rather call it, that have pressed the on button, it's like a very ugly finger with a claw. So this is not a good energy that has started this kind of big riots. Unfortunately, I don't see them over yet. It will be for, I see number 3, could be maybe 3 days, 3 weeks more. It will escalate. The police force will not be able to press down these riots. One have to remember that France had been during the last 3 years under very hard dictatorship through the restrictions and things like that. And people are very tired and things are not going better and people are angry and frustrated. And since this conflict in the country the involvement of France, people are feeling like desperate. Some of those that are participating in these riots are normal people, like desperate people without hope for the future, and they give out their frustration on governmental buildings and things like that. But there is another part of those that are engaging in these riots that have been pressed by this claw finger to do evil stuff. One have to remember that during normal manifestations, peaceful manifestations in Paris and other big cities in France, when people were did manifestations against restrictions and very, very not logical things pushed on them. And and the police force were extremely brutal against those people that were in this manifestation. They were beaten up, people were being killed by this brutal force, police force, these thugs. And people remember that. So their trust in their leader have sunken very, very low. Yeah. And they're losing the grip of France. And there will be put in other forces, could be military, could be other, not normal police, but more tough police into these riots. And the problem is, the more force they put on the people, the more fire will burn in them, and the more they will protest, like they have nothing to lose. Yeah. And a lot of people in this protest are people not native to France. They are people from other countries, and they're like, I don't give up about anything. I do what I please. And the looting and everything is, it comes with many times when there are riots or gangs on the streets. Then good people stay indoors, bad people begin to loot, burn cars and things like that. As I said, I see it like for number 3. We'll continue like for 3 more weeks until it will calm down. And this will not be due to brutal force against, it will be due to other things that will happen. The leader of France, I see him like this. Oh, what shall I do? I don't know what to do more. He will not be there anymore. There is a lot of dirt on him, and he has been involved in very, very nasty stuff, and this will be revealed. Maybe not during these 3 weeks, but quite soon anyway. And and some truth about elections will come out, that not all elections have been fair, and that will also make people quite angry. These protests, these riots in France, they will spread to other countries around France, especially when certain things will come up on the news that will make people quite angry. And there will be a lot of demonstrations. Unfortunately, the bad people will show their faces there too. Even if when people have been treated bad, unfair, they want to say their meaning, they want to protest. But during protests like that, the bad guys take the opportunity to get involved and make damage. Yeah. And I see country after country, symbolically, it's on fire. People are on fire. Strange thing is, whatever happens in France, they're gonna start a lot, but they're also gonna be the country that a lot of truth will be squeezed out from it and will spread to countries around. And the truth about a certain gas explosion on a building in Paris will also come out, what it really was about. There are other information around this that people have not been allowed to hear yet. Turbulent times. Yeah. They say that the riot started after a young man was killed by the police. Unfortunately, there will be more people that will perish due to the police. And that is not a way to calm down situation. Yeah. And it could be people that are like innocent. They have not done anything wrong, just speaking their mind. Yeah. So some kind of revolution is cooking in France. It will calm down eventually, but it's still not finished yet. Well, that was what I could see in my crystal ball. Let's continue to the cards. Let's see if they have something more to say about the riots in France. Some oracle cards. A gypsy card. And some dice. I think it looks like this. What do we have here? We have a sun, total paradigm shift, surprises, new love, King of Coins, Five of Cups, Three of Wands, Ace of Swords, Three of Cups. In the Egyptian card we have sickness, and on the dice we have grace, a big fairy, and a bag of fries. Well, what does this mean? We're gonna focus on the card in the center. And the card in the center says total paradigm shift. That means whatever is happening in France will change France in the future. And people are feeling sick. It's a sickness in France. And there's a reaction on whatever that is sick, that is not good in France. And this will lead to paradigm shift, meaning could be new leaders, could be new rules, something new will come out of this. As I said, grace, fairy, and fries. Some of these riots are due to people coming from other countries that have been offered something, but they are not feeling welcomed, or they are there to make sick things. The control in France will return, so the riots will stop. And I have a Three of Cups. Eventually, within 3 weeks, could be a little bit longer, but it will take some time before everything calms down. And a new love, so new kind of France will grow out of this. At the moment, a lot of people feeling a lot of sorrow. They're not feeling well. And there are some light. We have the sun, and there are a lot of lights spreading on certain lights. You can also say information are coming up that will make people feeling very bad. And the truth has not emerged yet. There are still some very shocking things, as that said, surprises that will come out. And this will make things change. And whatever happens in France, rest of Europe, the countries of Europe, cannot be quiet about. Because their leaders, they know what they have done to their countries. They know what lies have been pushed on the people the last years. And they're looking at France with big eyes, because eventually this what happened in France can come to their countries too. So they're a little bit like preparing. But calmness and control will come back to France. There will be some justice made. The sword of justice, you can also call it. Those who have done bad things, but not on those who have the right to protest, have the right to make their voices heard. More those who were destroying buildings, things, property. Those will have to face some kind of charges. Now, let's take some last cards for France. Is there any last words for France? Or are there any last words for France and the riots? Some last words. Here we have Six of Wands, Nine of Cups, High Priestess, the Death card, and the Wheel of Fortune. Hidden truths the High Priestess, that the High Priestess have symbolically, will come up. And that will change the whole situation in France. things will calm down, things will get better. We have the death card. Whatever has been in France, the bad things will die off, and it will come time of good fortune. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have also the wish cards and success. So things will turn to the better, but really not yet, because there are a lot of hidden things for the people. And when that comes to the open and the paradigm shift has started really, then after that the new times for the better will come. But still, for some time it will be quite is it traumatic or explosive. Unfortunately, culmination of this could be a big explosion in a big city. And it's not planted there through the conflict in the east. It's an internal job to create some disturbance and make people fill people with fear. Unfortunately, I see that. And but the end result, when everything calms down, because it will calm down, will be a good time for France. A new era, you can call it, with success, with wishes, fulfillment of wishes for the people, and a period of good luck. Well, that was my reading for the riots in France. And if you have liked what you have seen and heard, please don't forget to press like button, share button, and subscription button. And to all of you wonderful people out there, take care, be vigilant, look around what's happening, try to avoid places where there are big disturbance, because whatever happens in France, unfortunately, will spread to other countries also before everything calms down. And once again, take care of each other, help each other, stay calm, and things will be better in the future, but we're living right now like in a tornado, but the tornado will pass eventually. And thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see each other soon again. Bye bye.